very gladdened, very uplifted. So he speaks. Shri Raja Uvacha Apiyesha Vamshayam Radrishin Pulyo Shlokan Mahatmana Anuvar Anuvartita Svidhyasasha Sadhuvadena Sattama. The all good king Yudhishthir inquired, O great souls, will he become a saintly king? Api Esha Vamshayan Raj Rishin Punya Shlokan Mahatmana. So he inquired, Anuvartita Svid Yashasaha. Will he become a saintly king as pious in his very name and as famous and glorified in his achievement as others who appeared in the great royal family? So this is the inquiry. Will he be as glorious as the previous kings who have come in this lineage, this Surya Vamsha, Chandra, the Surya not Chandra, this is the Kuru Vansha. Kuru Vansha. The forefathers of King Yudhishthir were all great souls, great saintly kings, pious and glorified by the great achievements. They were all saints on the royal throne, and therefore all the members of the state were happy, pious, well-behaved, prosperous, and spiritually enlightened. Under strict guidance of great souls and spiritual injunctions, such great saintly kings were trained up, and as a result, the kingdom was full of saintly persons and was a happy land of spiritual life. Maharaj Yudhishthir was himself a replica of his ancestors, and he desired that the next king after him become exactly like his great forefathers. He was happy to learn that the learned Brahmanas, that by astrological calculation, the child has been born as the first great devotee of the Lord. And now he wanted to know with confidence whether the child was going to follow in the footsteps of great forefathers. So you see, the concern is not that how great he is or how great he will be. What is the key concern of Maharaj Yudhishthir? That will he be following into the footsteps of the predecessors, of the previous ancestors? This is more important. So he wanted to know with confidence whether the child was going to follow in the footsteps of his great forefathers. That is the way of monarchical state. The reigning king should be pious, chivalrous, devotee of the Lord, and fear personified for the upstarts. Upstart means those who are mischievous people. He must also leave an heir apparent equally qualified to rule over the innocent citizen. In the modern setup of the democratic states, the people themselves are fallen to the qualities of the Shudras or less. And the government is run by a representative of theirs who has not been trained according to the scriptural mode of administrative education. Thus, the whole atmosphere is surcharged with the Sudra qualities manifested by lust and avarice. Such administrators quarrel every day amongst themselves. The cabinet of ministers change often due to party and group selfishness. Everyone wants to exploit the state resources till he dies. No one retires from political life unless forced to do so. How can such a low-grade man do good to the people? The result is corruption, intrigue, and hypocrisy. They should learn from the Srimad Bhagavatam how ideal the administrator must be before they can be given charge of different posts. So Prabhupada is talking about those who are taking leadership role, that whether they are competent, they are qualified, they have the right qualities, attributes, then only they can do justice. Otherwise, what we see today, they are creating havoc. Prabhupada talks about the cabinet of ministers and the so-called ministers and rulers of today's state, that they are all manifested with lust and avarice. And what is the result? The result is only with hypocrisy, there is only quarrel. So these are the two features of Kali Yuga. First one is the hypocrisy, and the other is immediate quarrel. Brahmana uchuhu partha prajavita sakshat ikshvakureva manava brahmanya satya sandascha ramo dashrathar. The learned Brahmana said, O son of Pitha, this child shall be exactly like King Ikshvaku. This is the Suryavansh, King Ikshvaku, son of Manu, in maintaining all those who were born. And as far as following the Brahminical principles, especially in being true to his promise, he shall be exactly like Ram, the personality of Godhead, the son of Maharaj Dashrath. Praja means the living being who has taken his birth in the material world. Actually, the living being has no birth and no death. But because of his separation from the service of the Lord, and due to his desire to lord it over the material nature, he is offered a suitable body to satisfy his material desires. In doing so, one becomes conditioned by the laws of material nature, and the material body is changed in terms of his own body. The living entity thus transmigrates from one body to another in 8,400,000 species of life. But due to his being the part and parcel of the Lord, he is not only maintained with all the necessities of life by the Lord, but is also protected by the Lord and his representatives, the saintly kings. These saintly kings give protection to all prajas or living beings to live and to fulfill their term of imprisonment. Maharaj Parikshit was actually an ideal saintly king because while touring his kingdom, he happened to see a poor cow was about to be killed by the personified Kali, whom he at once took to task as a murderer. This means that even the animals were given protection by the saintly administrators. Not from any sentimental point of view, but because those who have taken their birth in the material world have the right to live. All the saintly kings, beginning from the king of the sun globe down to the king of the earth, are so inclined by the influence of the Vedic literatures. The Vedic literatures are taught in a higher planet also, as there is a reference in the Bhagavad Gita about the teachings of the sun god Vivaswan by the Lord. And such lessons are transferred by disciplic succession as it was done by the sun god to his son Manu, and from Manu to Maharaj Ikshvaku. There are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma, and the Manu referred to herein is the seventh Manu, who is one of the Prajapatis, those who create Praja. And he is the son of the sun god. He is known as Vaivashvat Manu. He had 10 sons, and Maharaj Ikshvaku is one of them. Maharaj Ikshvaku also learned Bhakti Yoga as taught in the Bhagavad Gita from his father Manu, who got it from his father, the sun god. Later on, the teaching of the Bhagavad Gita came down by disciplic succession from Maharaj Ikshvaku. But in course of time, the chain was broken by unscrupulous persons. And therefore, it again had to be taught to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So all the Vedic literatures are current from the very beginning of creation of the material world. And thus the Vedic literatures are known as Aparusheya. Aparusheya means it is not subject to any defect. Man has 4 inherent defects, but Vedic literature is free from all those defects. The Vedic knowledge was spoken by the Lord and first heard by Brahma, the first created living being in the universe. Maharaj Ikshvaku, one of the sons of Vashvat Manu, he had 100 sons. He prohibited meat eating. His son, Sansada, became the next king after his death. Manu. The Manu mentioned in this verse as the father of Ikshvaku is the seventh Manu of the name Vaivashvat Manu, the son of sun god Vaivasvat, to whom Lord Krishna instructed the teachings of Bhagavad Gita prior to his them to Arjuna. Mankind is a descendant of Manu. This Vaivashvat Manu had 10 sons named Ikshvaku, Nabhaga. Anyone remembers Nabhag? What is so striking about Nabhag? Dayashil Prabhu, where are you? You are hearing or you are not hearing today? Anyone remembers Nabhag? 10 sons of Manu are given. First one is Ikshvaku. Then Nabhag is mentioned. Don't remember. Drishti, Saryati, Narishyanta. Then there is another Nabhag. Nishta, Karusha, Prasidra, and Vashuma. The Lord Incarnation, Matsya, the gigantic fish, invented himself during the beginning of Vivasvat Manu's regime. The Vivasvat Manu learned the principle of the Bhagavad Gita from his father Vivasvan, sun god, and he re-instructed the same to his son Maharaj Ikshvaku. In the beginning of the Treta Yuga, the sun god instructed the Manu. The Manu in turn instructed to Ikshvaku for the welfare of the whole human society. Lord Ram. In the Treta Yuga, Supreme Personality of Godhead incarnated himself as Sri Ram, accepting as his father his pure devotee Maharaj Dasharatha, the king of Ayodhya. Lord Ram descended along with his plenary portion, and all of them appeared as his younger brother. In the month of Chaitra, on the 9th day of the growing moon, the Lord appeared as usual to establish the principles of religion and to annihilate the disturbing elements. When he was just a boy, young boy, he held the great sage Vishwamitra by, by striking Marich and killing Subahu and a she demon, all of whom had been disturbing the sages in their daily discharge of duties. The Brahmanas and Kshatriyas are meant to cooperate for the welfare of the mass of people. The Brahmana sages endeavor to enlighten the people by perfect knowledge, and the Kshatriyas are meant for their protection. Lord Ramchandra is the ideal king for maintaining and protecting the highest culture of humanity, known as Brahmana Dharma. The Lord is specifically the protector of the cows and the Brahmanas, and hence he enhances the prosperity of the world. Although the agency of Vishwamitra sorry. In the month of Chaitra, on the 9th day of growing moon, the Lord appeared as usual to establish the principles of religion and to annihilate the disturbing elements. When he was just a young boy, he helped the great sage Vishwamitra by striking Marich and killing Subahu and a she-demon, all of whom had been disturbing the sages in their daily discharge of duty. The Brahmanas and Kshatriyas are meant to cooperate for the welfare of the mass of people. The Brahmana stage endeavors to enlighten the people by perfect knowledge, and the Kshatriyas are meant for their protection. Lord Ramchandra is the ideal king for maintaining and protecting the highest culture of humanity, known as Brahmanya Dharma. The Lord is specifically the protector of the cows and the Brahman, and hence he enhances the prosperity of the world through the agency of Vishwamitra. He was rewarded by the administrative Lord with effective weapons conquer the demons. He was present in the bow sacrifice of King Janak, and by breaking the invincible bow of Shiva, he married Sita Devi, daughter of Maharaj Janaka. After his marriage, he accepted exile in the forest for 14 years by the order of his father Maharaj Darshan. To help the administration of the demigod, he killed 14,000 demons, and by the influx of the demons, his wife Sita Devi was kidnapped by Ravana. He made friendship with Sugriva, who was held by the Lord, to kill Vali, brother of Sugriv. By the help of Lord Ramchandra, Sugriv became the king of Manaras, a race of gorillas. The Lord built a floating bridge of stones on the Indian Ocean and reached Lanka. The kingdom of Ravan, who had kidnapped Sita, later on Ravana was killed by him, and Ravana's brother Vibhishana was installed on the throne of Lanka. Vibhishan was one of the brothers of Ravana, a demon, but Lord Rama made him immortal by his blessings. Vibhishan was one of the brothers. Okay. On the expiry of 14 years after settling the affairs of Lanka, Lord came back to his kingdom, Ayodhya, Power plain. He instructed his brother Shatrughan to attack Lavanasur, who regained in Mathura, and the demon was killed. He performed 10 Ashwamedh sacrifices, and later on he disappeared while taking a bath in the Saryu river. The great epic Ramayana is the history of Lord Ram's activities in the world and their experiences. And the authoritative Ramayana was written by the great poet Valmiki. एषदाता शरण्यश्च यथार्थी औषीनराशिभिः यशोवितानि स्वानम् तोषयन्तेरिव yagvanam. The child will be a munificent donor of charities and protector of the surrender, like the famous King Sivi at the Ushinra country. And he will expand the name and fame of the family like Bharat, the son of Maharaj Dushyanta. The big purport. Manoram, you read. Manoram Prabhu, you read the purport.
Hare Krishna. The king becomes famous by his acts of charity, performance of yajnas, protection of the surrendered, etc. A Kshatriya king is proud to give protection to the surrendered souls. This attitude of a king is called Ishvara Bhava, or factual power to give protection in a righteous cause. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord instructs living beings to surrender unto him, and he promises all protection. The Lord is all powerful and true to his word, and therefore he never fails to give protection to his different devotees. The king, being the representative of the Lord, must possess this attitude of giving protection to the surrendered souls at all risk. Maharaj Shivi, the king of Ushinara, was an intimate friend of Maharaj Yayati, who was able to reach the heavenly planets along with Maharaj Shivi. Maharaj Shivi was aware of the heavenly planet where he was to be transferred after his death. And the description of this heavenly planet is given in Mahabharata, Adi Parva 96.6 to 9. Maharaj Shivi was so charitably disposed that he wanted to give over his acquired position in the heavenly kingdom to Yayati, but he did not accept it. Yayati went to the heavenly planet along with great rishis like Astaka and others. On enquiry from the rishis, Yayati gave an account of Shivi's pious acts when all of them were on the path of heaven. He has become a member of the assembly of Yam Raja, who has become his worshipable deity. As confirmed in the Bhagavad Gita, the worshipper of the demigod goes to the planet of the demigods. Yanti Devabrata Devan, Bhagavad Gita 9.25. So Maharaj Shivi has become an associate of the great Vaishnava authority Yamraj on that particular planet. While he was on the earth, he became very famous as a protector of surrendered souls and a donor of charities. The king of heaven once took the shape of a pigeon hunter bird, that is eagle, and Agni. The fire god took the shape of a pigeon. The pigeon, while being chased by the eagle, took shelter on the lap of Maharaj Shivi. And the hunter eagle wanted the pigeon back from the king. The king wanted to give it some other meat to eat and requested the bird not to kill the pigeon. The hunter bird refused to accept the king's offer, but it was settled later on that the eagle would accept flesh from the body of the king of the pigeon's equivalent weight. The king began to cut flesh from his body to weigh in the balance equivalent to the weight of the pigeon. But the mystic pigeon always remained heavier. The king then put himself on the balance to equal the pigeon, and the demigods were pleased with him. The king of heaven and the fire god disclosed their identity, and the king was blessed by them. Devarshi Narad also glorified Maharaj Shivi for his great achievements, specifically in charity and protection. Maharaj Shivi sacrificed his own son for the satisfaction of a Brahmana. Shivi never allowed flesh eating in his kingdom by any human being, and thus child Parikshit was to become a second Shivi in charity and protection. Dashyanti Bharata. There are many Bharatas in history, of which Bharata, the brother of Lord Rama, Bharat, the son of King Rishabha, and Bharat, the son of Maharaj Dushyanta, are very famous. And all these Bharatas are historically known to the universe. This earth planet is known as Bharata or Bharatvarsha due to King Bharat, the son of Rishabha. But according to some, this land is known as Bharata due to the reign of the son of Dushyanta. So far as we are convinced, the land's name Bharatvarsha was established from the region of Bharat, the son of King Rishabh. Before him, the land was known as Ilabrat Varsha. But just after the coronation of Bharat, the son of Rishabha, this land became famous as Bharat Varsha. But despite all this, Bharat, the son of Maharaj Dushyanta, was not less important. He is the son of the famous beauty Shakuntala. Maharaj Dushyanta fell in love with Shakuntala in the forest, and Bharat was conceived. After that, Maharaj Dushyanta forgot his wife Shakuntala by the curse of Kanva Muni, and the child Bharat was brought up in the forest by his mother. Even in his childhood, he was so powerful that he challenged the lions and elephants in the forest and would fight with them as little children play with cats and dogs. Because of the boys becoming so strong, more than the so-called modern Tarzan, the rishis in the forest called him Sarvadaman, or one who is able to control everyone. A full description of Maharaj Bharat is given in the Mahabharata Adi Parva. The Pandavas or the Kurus are sometimes addressed as Bharata due to being born in the dynasty of the famous Maharaj Bharat, the son of King Dusan.
Thank you. So the qualities in comparison to the great personalities is being recommended, is being forecasted by the learned Brahmanas. Tanvinam agraniresha tulyaschaarjanayo utasaye durdharasha samudreva dustara. So Dhanavinam, among the women, among the great women, the child will be as good as Arjuna's. Tulyos cha Arjunareo divyo. And Hutasa eva durdaharsha. He will be as irresistible as fire. And how he will be in his character? Samudra eva dustara. Unsurpassable as ocean. Read through.
In history, there are two Arjunas. One is Kartavirya Arjuna, the king of Haihaya, and the other is the grandfather of the child. Both the Arjunas are famous for their bowmanship, and the child Parikshit is foretold to be equal to both of them, particularly in fighting. A short description of the Pandava Arjuna is given below. Pandava Arjuna, the great hero of the Bhagavad Gita. He is the Kshatraja, son of Maharaj Pandu.
Continue.
Queen Kunti Devi could call for any one of the demigods, and thus she called Indra. The Arjuna was born by him. Arjuna is therefore a plenary part of the heavenly king Indra. He was born in the month of Falguna, February to March, and therefore he is also called Falguni. When he appeared as the son of Kunti, his future greatness was proclaimed by air messages, and all the important personalities from different parts of the universe, such as the demigods, the Gandharvas, the Adityas from the sun globe, the Rudras, the Vasus, the Nagas, the different rishis of importance, and the Apsaras, the society girls of heaven, all attended the ceremony. The Apsaras pleased everyone by their heavenly dances and songs. Vasudev, the father of Lord Krishna and the maternal uncle of Arjuna, sent his priest representative Kashyapa to purify Arjuna by all the prescribed samskaras or reformatory processes. His samskara of being given a name was performed in the presence of the rishis, residents of Shatasringa. He married 4 wives, Draupadi, Subhadra, Chitrangada, and Ulupi, from whom Ulupi.
Continue, bro. Please continue.
Yes, sir. From whom he got 4 sons of the names Shrutakirti, Avimannu, Vavru, Bahana, and Iravan, respectively. During his student life, he was entrusted to study under the great professor Dronacharya along with other Pandavas and the Kurus. But he excelled everyone by his studious intensity, and Dronacharya was especially attracted by his disciplinary affection. Dronacharya accepted him as a first-grade scholar and loved heartily to bestow upon him all the blessings of military science. He was so ardent a student that he used to practice bowmanship even at night. And for all these reasons, Professor Dronacharya was determined to make him the topmost bowman of the world. He passed very brilliantly the examination in piercing the target, and Dronacharya was very pleased. Royal families at Manipur and Tripura are descendants of Arjuna's son Bhavro Bahana. Arjuna saved Dronacharya from the attack of a crocodile, and the Acharya, being pleased with him, rewarded him with a weapon of the name Brahmashira. Maharaj Draupada was inimical toward Dronacharya, and thus when he attacked the Acharya, Arjuna got him arrested and brought him before Dronacharya. Arjuna besieged a city of the
Besieged. This is
Besieged.
besieged.
Yeah, it's right. Arjuna besieged a city of the name Ahichatra, belonging to Maharaj Drupada, and after taking it over, he gave it to Dronacharya. The confidential treatment of the weapon Brahmashira was explained to Arjuna, and Dronacharya had Arjuna promise that he would use the weapon if necessary when he personally became an enemy of Arjuna. But this, the Acharya forecasted the future battle of Kurukshetra, in which Dronacharya was one of the opposite side. Maharaj Drupad, although defeated by Arjuna on behalf of his professor Dronacharya, decided to hand over his daughter Draupadi to his younger combatant. But he was disappointed when he heard the false news of Arjuna's death in the fire of a lake house, intrigued by Duryodhana. Maharaj Draupad therefore arranged for Draupadi's personal selection of a groom who could pierce the eye of a fish hanging on the ceiling. This trick was especially made because only Arjuna could do it, and Maharaj Draupad was successful in his desire to hand over his equally worthy daughter to Arjuna. Arjuna and his brothers were at the time living in incognito under agreement with Duryodhana, and they attended the meeting of Draupadi's selection in the dress of Brahmanas. When all the assembled Kshatriyas kings saw that a poor Brahmana had been garlanded by Draupadi as her lord, Sri Krishna disclosed his identity to Balram. Arjuna met Ulupi at Haridwar and was attracted by that girl who belonged to Nagaluka, and thus Iravan was born. Similarly, he met Chitrangada, a daughter of the king of Manipur, and thus Bavruvahana was born. Lord Sri Krishna made a plan to help Arjuna kidnap Subhadra, the sister of Sri Krishna, because Baladev was inclined to hand her over to Duryodhana. Yudhishthir also agreed with Sri Krishna, and thus Subhadra was taken by force by Arjuna and then married to him. Subhadra's son was Abhimanyu, the father of Parikshit Maharaj, the posthumous child. Arjuna satisfied the fire god by setting fire to the Khandava forest, and thus the fire god gave him a weapon. Indra was angry when the fire was set in the Khandava forest, and thus Indra, assisted by all other demigods, began fighting with Arjuna for his great challenge. They were defeated by Arjuna, and Indradev returned to his heavenly kingdom. Arjuna also promised all protection to one Mayasura, and the latter presented him with a valuable counsel celebrated as the Devadatta. Similarly, he received many other valuable weapons from Indradev when he was satisfied to see his chivalry. When Maharaj Yudhishthir was disappointed in defeating the king of Magad, Jarasandha, it was Arjuna only who gave King Yudhishthir all kinds of assurance, and thus Arjuna, Bhima, and Lord Krishna started for Magad to kill Jarasandha. When he went out to bring all other kings of the world under the subjection of the Pandavas, as was usual after the coronation of every emperor, he conquered the country named Kalinda and brought under subjugation King Bhagadatta. Then he traveled through countries like Antagiri, Ulugpur, and Modapur and brought under subjugation all the rulers. Sometimes he underwent severe types of penances and later on he was rewarded by Indradev. Lord Shiva also wanted to try the strength of Arjuna, and in the form of an aborigine, Lord Shiva met him. There was a great fight between the two, and at last Lord Shiva was satisfied with him and disclosed his identity. Arjuna prayed to the Lord in all humbleness, and the Lord, being pleased with him, presented him with the Pashupath weapon. He acquired many other important weapons from different demigods. He received the Dandastra from Yamraj, the
Pashastra.
Pashastra from Varun, and the Antardhanastra from Kuvera, the treasurer of the heavenly kingdom. Indra wanted him to come to the heavenly kingdom, the Indralok planet, beyond the moon planet. In that planet, he was cordially received by the local residents, and he was awarded reception in the heavenly parliament of Indradev. Then he met Indradev, who not only presented him with the Vajra weapon, but also taught him the advanced military and musical science used in the heavenly planet. In one sense, Indra is the real father of Arjuna, and therefore indirectly he wanted to entertain Arjuna with the famous society girl of heaven, Urvashi, the celebrated beauty. The society girl of heaven are lusty, and Urvashi was very eager to conduct Arjuna, the strongest human being. She met him in his room and expressed her desire, but Arjuna sustained his unimpeccable character by closing his eyes before Urvashi, addressing her as mother of the Kuru dynasty and placing her in the category of his mother Kunti, Madri, and Sochidevi, wife of Indradev. Disappointed, Urvashi cursed Arjuna and left. In the heavenly planet, he also met the great celebrated ascetic Lomas and prayed to him for the protection of Maharaj Yudhishthir. When his inimical cousin Duryodhan was under the clutches of the Gandharvas, he wanted to save him and requested the Gandharvas to release Duryodhan. But the Gandharvas refused, and thus he fought with them and got Duryodhana released. When all the Pandavas lived incognito, he presented himself in the court of King Virat as a eunuch,
Eunuch.
eunuch, and
Eunuch.
was
It is pronounced as eunuch.
eunuch.
The one who is, neither a man or not a female. Eunuch.
Yes, so Virata as eunuch and was employed as the musical teacher of Uttara, his future daughter-in-law, and was known in the Virat court as Brihannala. As Brihannala, he fought on behalf of Uttara, the son of King Virat, and thus defeated the Kurus in the fight incognito. His secret weapons were safely kept in the custody of a Somitri, and he ordered Uttara to get them back. His identity and his brother's identity were later on disclosed to Uttara. Dronacharya was informed of Arjuna's presence in the fight of the Kurus and the Viratas. Later on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Arjuna killed many great generals like Karna and others. After the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he punished Aswathama, who had killed all the 5 sons of Draupadi. Then all the brothers went to Vishmadev. It is due to Arjuna only that the great philosophical discourses of Bhagavad Gita were again spoken by the Lord on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. His wonderful acts on the battlefield of Kurukshetra are vividly described in the Mahabharata. Arjuna was defeated, however, by his son Vabruvahana at Manipur and fell unconscious. When Ulupi saved him after the disappearance of Lord Krishna, the message was brought by Arjuna to Maharaj Yudhishthir. Again, Arjuna visited Dwarka And all the widowed wives of Lord Krishna lamented before him. He took them all into the presence of Vasudeva and pacified all of them. Later on, when Vasudeva passed away, Arjuna performed his funeral ceremony in the absence of Krishna. While Arjuna was taking all the wives of Krishna to Indraprasth, he was attacked on the way and he could not protect the ladies in his custody. At last, advised by Vyasdev, all the brothers began their Mahaprasthana. On the way, at the request of his brother, he gave up all his important weapons as useless and dropped them all in the water.
Okay, thank you. It's a very big purport. Prabhupada is giving so many references of how Arjuna was so extraordinarily powerful. Okay, I'll stop here. We'll continue. Tomorrow will be a session on spiritual scientist. Tomorrow is Saturday. Deyashil, you've not tuned in, Prabhu? I think he's not tuned in. Now at the fag end, you are opening you are sitting in the house.
Prabhuji, Saraswati Mataji has come. His family also has come.
Okay. So tomorrow's session, you will give spiritual scientist online. Okay. And again, to be reminded, today is the day when Lord Krishna performed his pastime. So we can meditate. If we make our heart as soft and as pure as butter, so Krishna will come and he will accept that butter as an offering. Or if we make our heart as clean as Ayodhya, then Lord Ram will come. This is the purpose of chanting Hare Krishna and Hare Ram every day. श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जय प्रभुपाद की जय और गौरी